Antonio, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to do this interview. I know you're very busy, so I really appreciate you being here, especially since it's 8 a.m. in the morning for you. So, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Early bird gets the worm. Even on Christmas, it's always good to do some housekeeping. That way I have the opportunities to be with my loved ones and stuff. So I'm glad we can do this early, get it out of the way.
Awesome. So, I wanted to interview you because I saw two different screenshots from you of a 5.5K total retainer. I would like to get into that with you a bit later on. For now, I'd like to know what's your backstory? What were you doing before discovering and before joining the real world?
So yeah, I was it's actually kind of it's kind of a semi-common story that I've heard. So it's almost been a year since I've been in the real world. And it was about last December. I'm in the military. So I have about a year until I out process and my contract is done with the military. And I've had enough of hurry up and wait. I've had enough of people pretty much, telling me what to do. So I was like, man, I'll try with this entrepreneurial route. I thought it was going to be some like crazy thing that only a select amount of people who had these secret codes that knew the secrets of the universe could actually do. But I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take a bet on myself. And so I basically was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was like, yeah, this is the way to go. The way that the tax system is structured, the way that the lifestyle is for the people who decide to go and take a bet on themselves would actually go through with it. So I heard Tate on a podcast, and I was just like, you know what, it's $50, might as well. And I've always wanted to do something with writing because I've always been creatively inclined that way. And I found the copywriting campus. I worked at it for about 2.5 months. Like that's all I did was just like learn the patterns and learn how to actually create that mindset of an entrepreneur. And then I got a couple of small wins with some projects, and then I got some bigger wins later. So that's how I pretty much started.
Great. You mentioned you found out about Tate on a podcast. So why were you drawn to Tate? What was it about him? And yeah.
So it was a lot of the mindset stuff, and it was a lot of the observations that he made about society, because I've said a lot of the same things before, but people would say, you're too Antonio. Like that's too, you're crazy. You're just too out there thinking. And so when I saw that he was teaching people in, his university and the real world, I was just like, fuck it, let's take a bet. This guy seems like he's right on. I did a little bit of digging to see what else I can find. I found some other podcasts, and I was just like, you know what, $50 is $50. If this guy is who he say he is, in which, I found out he was a 4-time kickboxing world champion, I was just like, that's pretty good, solid social proof. And if he's having this lifestyle that I see on Take Confidential and stuff, I said, there's something to be learned, right? An opportunity of $50 a month to be put in a place where you have other individuals who have made it, who are multimillionaires, and each of their respective pursuits of knowledge is something that you really want to be in front of, right? And I knew before, I never really took opportunity like those by the balls, but I said, fuck it, like I want to be in a room with these people, and if anything, learn so I can genuinely provide value later on for the stuff that I learned, the experiences that I go through, and just really make sure I take this opportunity by the balls and just go forward with it.
So you've joined the real world, right? That time known as Hustlers University. You see all the options that are in front of you. Why did you choose copywriting?
So I've always been really good at writing. So I used to a little bit of like background before the military. I was actually on the path to medicine, and I was studying biochem, and I was in a lab, uh, the Walling lab over at UCR, and my professor that was like overlooking the experiments that I was running for an internship, she said, "You write probably some of the best stuff that I've seen. We just need to make it a little bit more mechanical with these words and this word, but you write really, really well." And I've always had similar experiences with teachers and people in general, right? In my family or whoever has seen my work. And so I've always wanted to translate that into a living or like a stream of income, because I think it's rather profound, the written word. Like it's even biblical, right? So as God spoke, life became, and I think it's the same thing. Like you can write, you can even type these little fucking pixels on the screen, and you can move someone's emotions. You can cause them to buy. You can cause them to feel your suffering or your enlightenment and enjoyment. So I always thought that that was beautiful and profound. And I think that there's a really deep meaning to all of that and to what the human existence is. So I wanted to, make sure that that skill was built up. And plus, at the time, even though I make money with like military and some other side stuff I was doing, like crypto and all that good stuff, before everything just fucking hit the fan, I wanted to consider myself broke. I wanted to consider myself poor, because I wanted to build a skill set that I can take and translate through all realms of business. So that's pretty much why I chose copywriting in particular.
Oh,